welcome to your review pep talk story day today. We are just going to go straight into the story and then get to the review. So this is another story about when my husband and I were living down on the island while he went to medical school, the little island called Dominica. And before we left, we had our two kids and we knew we were going to need a really good stroller because while we were there, we didn't have a car. And so we would just be pushing our kids wherever we needed to go. So people had told us, they said, the strollers will get destroyed if you don't have the right stroller. And we're like, what? And they're like, yeah, you need this particular stroller. And what we needed was called a Bob stroller. Now, if you're a mom and you know strollers, Bob strollers are like, Bob strollers, right? They're like the best running, jogging strollers you can get because they're so heavy duty. They have bike tires, they have shocks. They are the stroller, okay? And so people were telling us we needed one, but it costed like $500 at the time, and we were poor medical students who did not have that kind of money. So we decided, okay, what's the next best thing? Like, what would be something that would really hold up? So we thought, okay, well, maybe like those bike trailer strollers that people take behind their bikes that kids ride in, and they have the big bike tires, and you can turn them into just like a regular stroller. So we thought, okay, that would be amazing. So we got on to, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever it was, the selling page, and we found one that was used, and it looked like it was in great shape. We were like, oh, this is awesome. It cost $50, and we're like, this is definitely gonna work. So we took it with us to the island, and it worked for about 3 months. We found out that the reason that strollers get destroyed there is because their roads are like this. Like they pave their roads and then people drive through them, and then the cement sets up with all these wheel tracks that have gone through the roads. And that's how the island, I don't know. The roads were just crazy. And we used our stroller all the time, and we're pushing them through these roads, and it was like, bouncy, and the kids are like, and at about 3 months in, the tires just fell off. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Like, we've got to have a stroller or we can't go anywhere. We can't do anything. I can't even go to the grocery store. And so I fixed it up, I put the tires, tried to weld them back on, but they kept falling off every once in a while, and we'd hit a big rut, and our stroller was just this nightmare. And so we were stressing, and then in the mail one day comes a letter from the IRS, and I was like, this is never good to get a letter from the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. They handle all your taxes. And I thought, oh man, but then I opened it up, and inside was a check for $500. I'm not even kidding, $500. And with a little note that said, we have reviewed your taxes and found that you actually needed $500 back, and so here it is. And so we were like, yes! So we took that $500 and we purchased a Bob stroller. And luckily we had a friend that was going back to the United States to visit his family for Thanksgiving. And so we purchased the stroller, he picked it up for us, brought it back to the island, and we then had the most amazing stroller ever known to man. And I used it there, I used it in Chicago, I used it in Wyoming. I was an avid runner, so I would run with my kids in this stroller, and it still is held up. It's held up through that whole thing, and I passed it on. But anyways, I tell you this story because sometimes when we need things the most, they will come. So don't give up hope. Things will work out how they need to work out. And sometimes you will receive things in life that you're like, that's amazing. Where that came from, that's amazing. So Anyways, I was grateful for that stroller, and that is your pep talk story for the day, kind of just a random one. But I like to think about that story and that check that randomly came for the exact amount we needed. So, all right, on to our review. Today for our review, we're starting on notes, page 110. And at the top, you'll see this is just a flashcard dash. So go ahead and label the notes and time yourself, and then you can come on back for the next page. Our next page is notes, page 111, and we have just two simple assignments here. The top says, draw the items from the word bank on the staves provided. So you're just taking those words in the word bank and drawing them on those lines. Number 1 is bracket, 2 treble clef sign, 3 bass clef sign, 4 1 bar line, 5 1 space note, 6 1 line note, 7 1 whole note, 8 1 half note, and 9 1 quarter note. So just draw those on those staves. And down below, our direction says label the number of beats each of these notes receive in 4/4 timing. Go ahead and complete this assignment, and then at the end of the video are the answer keys, so make sure you correct your papers before moving on. Great job!